What does it feel like to be in Lisbon in Portugal?
It's great. I've been here a lot of times. My parents actually have a house in the Alentejo region.
Oh, wow.
So I've been a lot to Lisbon and a lot to Portugal. And I haven't played here a lot actually. So this is my first time I'll actually do a show with my own music in Lisbon. So it's quite exciting.
It's curious though, where in Alentejo did you have a place?
It's a village called Alcáçovas.
Yeah.
You know it?
Yeah.
It's near Évora.
You seem to have a following over here.
Yeah, apparently. I actually was quite surprised. The first time I played in Portugal was on Milhões de Festa. And that was a while ago, and there were so many people there, and so I never heard of anyone in Portugal actually knowing about my record or my music. So I was really pleasantly surprised by so many people who really love it, you know, so that was amazing.
I went on your website and I saw the dates you've played in the past year and a half. You have basically played every month and like a handful of shows. You've basically not stopped for a year and a half now?
This is true, yeah.
That's insane, man. I've never seen anything like it. Like,
it's crazy. I'm really looking forward to taking a break as well, because it's crazy.
when do you expect to take a break now?
Yeah, after this tour I'll take a break. So I've got this show tonight, and then 3 more shows in France, and then a show in Luxembourg, and then after that a couple of months of just, you know, being in my studio, working on new material, taking a rest, really. I never really expected anything or planned on anything, but you know, my manager has been working really hard, and my booking agent, as well as in the US as in Europe. You know, I've got 2 different booking agents that have been really working really hard on the music, and there's so many opportunities about, you know, the record sells well in countries and it's received well, so it's only logical that we play there. You know, I would have loved to play more in Portugal or more in Spain, but there was just no time because there's so many countries.
You'll have plenty of time in the future, it's fine.
I hope so.
Do you think like your music caters to some Dutch sensibility, like for instance, like some fairies? Do you like fairy tales? Like, is it very much a Dutch thing?
I'm not sure if it's a Dutch thing, but I do like fairy tales, especially the ones who are kind of like horrific or like in between, not really suitable for children, but they were kind of written for children in the day, you know. But nowadays they're kind of shocking, and you know, you wouldn't really, those kind of fairy tales, or fairy tales that are more symbolic or more meaningful and have an extra, you know, more symbolic meaning to it. It's very similar to psychedelia and psychedelic music, you know, fairy tales.
What's one of your favorite fairy tales? Could you mention?
I just read about one not too long ago, which was about, let me think, what was it about? It was about a woman who gave birth to a twig, like from a tree, and she put it in the ground, and there was a really beautiful plant coming from it. And a guy saw a prince, I think he saw the plant, he loved the plant, so he wanted to take it home. Then the plant turned into a fairy, and he was in love with the fairy, and they were together, and it was really good. And then he had like 6 or 7 prostitutes who were kind of his wives, sort of, but not really. And they were really jealous of the fairy thing. And they killed the fairy and sliced it in a lot of pieces. And they put it all in a box and put it in his room so he could find it. And he was really stressed out about it, and he didn't like it, of course, because, you know, it was the love of his life. And I think there was a plant there still, and the plant, they put the pieces where the plant was, and the plant turned into a fairy again. And then the fairy told the guy what happened, and I think they tortured all the women who were so cruel.
Okay. What's the name of this?
I think it was the myrtle tree. I think. Yeah, sorry. It's
pretty fantastic, this story.
Yeah, I think it's an Italian fairy tale.
Oh, wow.
From like 1600s or something.
Would you like to live in a world mainly that's in slow motion and with very bright colors? Is this the Jacco Gardner world?
Not really, no. I would probably. I really like my dreams, so kind of like living in my dreams a little bit. My dreams are not really like slow motion and with a lot of colors. It's just kind of interesting and vague all the time and unexplainable.
Are they more real than what you think while you're awake?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's a more emotional thing and more. It's more interesting and more mysterious and more. There's much more that's unexplainable, and there's much more possibilities as well. Anything is possible in your dreams. So, yeah, I quite like that.
I heard of this place called Efteling in Holland. Is it somewhere you'd like to live?
No.
It's a very heavily produced place, isn't it?
It's mostly about children and parents taking their children there, spending a lot of money there. It's like Disneyland. Would you like to live in Disneyland?
No.
No.
I've never even gone to Disneyland, to be honest.
Me neither, but I can imagine it's quite the same way as the. Well, it depends. If they would make if they would have like an entire castle there, it might be a very commercial thing. I don't know, but if it's like a castle which is, very well made and very cool, then yeah, I wouldn't mind living there. Living in a castle would be great.
If only, I'd go if it was just Alice in Wonderland, then I'd go.
Yeah, probably.
It would possibly be more fun, I think.
Yeah, now it's like all over the place, fairy tales everywhere. It's actually I would quite like to live there actually, even though it's just a small house. Yeah, I changed my mind. I'd like to live there.